I'm Stephanie, and we have Celeste here, and we are so excited to learn about her story and what brought her into Empower, and just kind of her whole experience, and really what she heard about physical therapy from even other friends that went to it. Not a great experience. So we're going to get into all of that. So, hey, Celeste.
Hi, Stephanie.
So tell us a little bit about your story, kind of what brought you into our office.
Well, it actually was pure luck, believe it or not. I was at an event at which you sponsored,
Yeah.
and I won the raffle. And so I got 3 sessions. And I thought, wow, this is perfect because I had been suffering with a very specific back pain, lower back, a certain point, like in the back. And it was very painful to sit. I had to give up cycling. And, I was sort of at my wit's end. And first session, Natalie cured it. The pain disappeared.
Yeah.
And it was a miracle.
Yeah. So what did you try before, like, since you've been having this for a while? What were some of the things you tried?
I was seeing a chiropractor and I was getting a monthly full body massage.
Hmm.
And I kind of always felt like I needed to do physical therapy, but I didn't really know where to start.
Yeah. And it honestly, if you started at another place, like the first thing that they do is let's go do core strengthening and let's, bring your knees to your chest. And I mean, I know, like, what were the stories? I mean, you were telling us in the office of like the experience of your other friends that went to physical therapy.
Right. And it was just that. And I thought, well, I'm not sure this is really going to help me because I know how to do those
Yeah.
exercises. I do those exercises. I
Yes.
have a friend across the street that was going to a different physical therapy. He gave me the paper with the exercises. And I
Yes.
thought, well, these are just standard exercises
Yes.
that any stretching book or, I used to be a runner. I mean, like, I
Yeah.
knew all that and it wasn't helping.
Yeah.
It
And
wasn't
we hear
helping.
that all the time. It's like
Yeah.
they'll go and it's like, well, if this is all you're going to give me, I can do this at home. And it's not really working. And so there's no one sitting there and asking the questions and doing evaluation to really fit all the pieces of the puzzle together to figure out like what is it that you need. And that's really what makes us different from a lot of most other physical therapy practices.
Exactly, exactly. Because Natalie, she just, I mean, she pinpointed immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, like, obviously, she knew where the pain was. I
Yeah.
showed her, but she pinpointed exactly because, it's not always there that the issue is. The issue
Yes.
could be somewhere else. And I knew that
Absolutely.
too. But the thing is, where else?
Yes.
Somebody, an expert needs to figure
Yeah.
that out.
Where is it for me?
Right. And
And
boy,
yeah.
did she figure it out.
And
Yeah.
everyone's different. Like, I mean, there's a lot of back pain that's very similar and we go through similar things, but we may start out similar with one person that's similar to another person, but then all of a sudden there's other things that are happening that we find out that are different too. So, but it
Mhm.
comes down to us just like looking at the whole body and seeing how everything moves and then helping guide you through that process.
Precisely. Yep.
So was there a specific moment or result during the treatment that really stood out for you?
Well, I mean, I think it was that first session.
Yeah.
It was that first session
Yeah.
when it's like, holy smokes, the pain is gone. How did you do that?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, well, it's gone, but let's see if it's gone this afternoon or tomorrow or next week.
Yep.
And it kept being gone.
Yeah.
It's like gone, gone.
Yeah. Especially when you have that continued treatment, like, because we have times we do this a lot with people that like we get really good results at the very beginning and they're like, okay, I don't need to come back. I'm like, no, 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 no. We've got to make
Mm-mm.
it stick. Like, because just now that there's progressions that we have to make, and eventually we've got to get to some strengthening. But like there is a progression. And I mean, I had another person that saw us and she'd have like neck and shoulder pain for years. I mean, 10 years, went everywhere. And the first visit, she was like, holy cow, this is the best I felt. And I don't think I need to come back. And I'm like, oh no, you do.
Mm-mm.
And then I get a call like a month later going, okay, it's come back. I go, I know, because we did one visit. Like we can't make it stick in one visit. Your body's been like this for like 10 years.
Exactly, exactly. And so it was smart to do a 3 session raffle
Yeah.
because, and then after those 3 sessions, I'm like, okay, I need to keep doing this
Yeah.
because I don't trust that it's going to stay this way.
Yeah.
It's partly, but also partly is like, this is working so well. Why
Yeah.
should I stop this?
Yeah. Well, we
I
have
need to
to
keep
like,
going with this.
you're on our kind of our monthly wellness program type thing. And it
Mm-hmm.
works so well because what happens, I mean, it's human behavior. I am in that same category where if you keep on doing this stuff, you're going to feel great, but you don't feel it. So you feel great. And then you get busy and you got to go do this. And then you got to go do this. And so the monthly thing, it works great because it's kind of like, oh, yep. Okay, let's go back to doing this. Okay, yep, this looks really good. Oh, this is a little tight. Let's work on this. And you feel fantastic.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
how was your condition or your mobility improved since starting therapy?
Well, I can sit now because I've always been extremely active, movement, movement, movement. I walk, I garden, I hike, I do all kinds of things. And and I don't sit very much. I mean, I'm standing right now. But you do have to sit sometimes.
You
And
do.
so now I can sit without pain.
That's
And I
awesome.
also got the handy dandy.
Whoop, I know it
Oh,
works so well.
that is a godsend.
It is
That
a
is a
godsend.
godsend. I bring it everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. I don't care where I'm going, I bring it. And, but I think probably even with that, if I hadn't gotten the therapy and the continued therapy, I would have that. I would still have that pain, and the roller probably wouldn't have helped. You know what I
It
mean?
would
It's a
help
whole
to, like, you would
package.
tolerate it longer and you wouldn't
Yeah.
hurt as bad.
But
But
this, I think,
when you can
really,
keep it
really
away, it
helps.
helps keep it away because
It does.
it makes a
And so,
difference because it just can kind of help you rest in a good position that your spine needs to be in.
right. And so that was where I noticed it that pain the
Yeah.
most was in the sitting. And so it sounds kind of like a weird thing that helped, but just sitting, but it really did.
What did you find most helpful or comforting about the therapy and like our office environment?
Well, I mean, comforting is that everybody is so friendly and welcoming, and it's an open space. So, everyone sees everyone, and it's just, it's not a party, but it's just, a nice, really nice atmosphere. Everyone knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Um, very, very helpful. Um, and, Natalie, she's always coming up with solutions.
Yeah.
She's solutions based, which is,
Yeah.
I'm sure, you all are.
Yeah.
And so even if I'm feeling good, she's like, well, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should do that. Let's check this. Let's check that.
Yeah.
And then very affirming when like, oh, I can stretch back more. I can do
Yeah.
this. I can do that. It's like, oh,
Wow, I can move better. That's
wow.
amazing.
Yeah. So I guess that's also going back to the previous question, something that's helped is I have more like flexibility because I'm not a
Yes.
very flexible person. So I'm able to move more freely, sideways, backward, forward,
Yeah.
touching the toes, all that stuff, which I was very stiff before.
Yeah. And that's common. Like, our first phase of therapy always is mobility first. So, like, how do the joints move? And if something's not moving, then you will be stiff. It will eventually
Mhm.
create pain. It will eventually create problems and compensation. And so, if you miss that piece of it, then you really are missing a big piece of the puzzle. And if you've had things for very long, we find that even when people have gone to the chiropractors, it's really hard to get manipulations or even to get them to stick. But when we show you like a joint stretch and you do it repeatedly, it has the same effect as a manipulation. And so we can really guide people through the process to improve their mobility. And it's not about flexibility because the muscles will tense up and protect because something's not moving. And so it's really figuring out like,
Yes.
what is it? Is it that it's an inflexible or is it that it's a mobility thing? And so you've really got to figure out what it is. And when you do, like, you get great results.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
So what would you tell someone that is like on the fence about coming into our office?
Oh, that they need to get off the fence. Yeah, I would just tell them that it's not what you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about here, do this list of
Yeah.
exercises. It's very personal.
Hmm.
It's your body, your issues, and let's try this for you.
Yeah.
And it's about, always, like I said before, coming up with another solution.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you're a 20-mile round trip.
Yeah.
So I don't like to drive much. So
Yeah.
that shows how much I appreciate and know that it's helping me, that I'm
Yeah.
putting in that, drive to do it once a month, because
Yeah. And
and
you're
in the
not
beginning, it
alone.
was every week,
We've had people Uber to us because they're hurting so bad. They've Ubered like from 30 minutes away to
Yeah,
come. And so it's just a very different office, different environment, different type of physical therapy that is really not offered anywhere else. Like we get questions all the time, like, do you know anyone that's like you here? I'm like, no, I
no,
don't.
no,
I don't.
no.
I mean, even out of state people, I have people ask me out of state, like, is there any? I'm like, I can give you a list of people. And they're like, they're just, I mean, they'll fly in when they're in town and get an appointment because it's just different, how we operate. So, but yeah. And honestly, like, you've got to think of all the time and investment you spent, like even with chiropractors and massage therapists, like this still was a better investment.
Yes, yes, yes. No, absolutely, absolutely. Right, because you're the ones that got to the core of the issue.
Yeah. Yep. And not
Precisely.
just kind of treating symptoms and just coming back and not really getting the outcome that you want. I mean, we're very outcome based,
Right.
not like, okay, let's get rid of the pain. No, let's figure out why it's there and what you're doing and how we can get you back to doing all the things that you want to be able to do, because that's life. That's what we want to do as we get older. We want to continue to be active.
Exactly. Oh, that's key, key, key,
Oh,
key.
yes.
And, just because that pain is gone doesn't mean there other pains don't creep up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's like another reason to keep going with
Yep.
it, is just because you've solved one issue, you usually don't have just one issue.
Yeah.
And
And
I
things,
have like a scoliosis,
yeah.
so I'm, crooked and this and that. So I'm always going to have
Yeah.
issues. And so it makes sense to keep going with
Yeah.
it.
And if you feel great, then it's worth it, because when you don't feel great, it's not fun. It's not a fun place
Right.
to be
And if
in.
you
You're not
stop,
active, you don't feel yourself. And so like if you can continue to stay active, especially as we get older, it's just huge. It makes all the difference in the world.
right, right. Yeah. And I'm going to be 65 in a few weeks. So, you
Yep.
know,
Yep.
it's, you gotta keep going. Gotta keep going.
Yes. If you don't have your health, then what do you have? Like if you can't
Nothing.
move around, you can't walk, then what do you have?
Exactly. Exactly.
And the medical
Yeah.
system is depressing when you go through them because they don't have answers for you.
I don't know. Stay away.
Stay away. Yes,
Stay
exactly.
away. No,
Exactly.
this is my medicine,
Yes,
doing
exactly.
this
Exactly.
and
Mine
doing
too.
the exercises every day. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely. Because there's still exercises to do. They're
Oh,
just different than that standard sheet that
oh,
you would get at another
100%.
PT.
Yes,
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, because I know someone else is going to be out there and listen to this, and it's going to really resonate with them. And they're going to be like, oh, wow. Like there'll be people that, didn't know about us, but heard this story that will be like, okay, maybe this is the place that I need to try, because it is so different compared to a lot of things that you do out there: chiropractor, massage, acupuncture, physical therapy. I mean, it's just different.
Yes, yes. No, highly, highly, you must go. Guys out there, you must go. You must go. It's
Well, thank
no,
you.
it's a
Thank you.
great place, and just totally professional and just expert.
Yeah. Thank you
Expert.
so much.
Thank you.